Hello and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we're gonna be continuing the narration for the Twilight of Wolumonde side story in Arknights. And considering this is now part 2, as per usual, if you wanna skip the rest of this intro recap part for part 1, timestamp as per usual is in the comment section below in the pinned comment section by me. But let's begin with the usual section of on the previous part. Well, we got introduced to the region, the plot, and the reason for Folinic and Suzuran being in the nomadic town of Wolumonde. And that is the fact, just like stated here at the intro section on this screen, that they are there to look for a missing operative by the name of Dr. Atro. Atro has been last seen in and around the area of Wolumonde, but the two of them don't know yet if that person is still alive or if they are deceased. But in general, we also get introduced to the fact that Wolumonde has recently been hit by a gigantic catastrophe. It's very hard to paint this picture to anybody when you just read about it, but just imagine if you're driving like down a road that you drive through every day and then suddenly there's a Grand Canyon. Just opens up in front of you. Oh, and it's also layered with dank obsidian black originium crystals. Nice. Just what everybody needs, right, in their life? But yeah, a giant chasm opened up. Wolumonde has been cut off from their usual path that they thread through, and they also couldn't avoid the catastrophe because of some potential miscommunication with their catastrophe messenger. Something's going on there. But yeah, the city is in a bad spot. It definitely got very harshly affected by it. And on top of it, their, let's call it military force, their peacekeepers, their police, the gendarmerie are not currently present in the city. For some reason, they are not there. What happened to them? I guess we'll have to find out eventually. But overall, we get to see the city through Folinic and Suzuran's eyes. We get to also see two important NPCs for the story overall, in the form of the Schultz of the city, aka the mayor of the city, current representative and only person responsible for making the city, well, run, in the form of a very big, burly, tall antlers guy by the name of Severin, and a woman by the name of Tatiana, who is kind of always around him and, according to what Severin says at one point, was supposed to be very soon betrothed probably to his very own son, Thor. But as life would have it, I guess, in Arknights, his son Atro and a bunch of others died in a fire outside of town, where Dr. Atro has set up a medic tent to help the infected. But something has happened. Apparently it was very high potent fire arts that were being used for the fire, and everybody has perished. At least according to what we know for now. But moving on, we also see that Mudrock and the Mudrock squad are present and around Wolumonde. So I would also like to remind here that this is set a couple of months, like somewhere smack down in between chapter 8 and 9 of the main story, meaning that it's about probably 6 months later. And Mudrock and her squad are doing their own thing now. But apparently the name Reunion is still... I mean, the name Reunion is never gonna go away anymore because of what has happened, but, you know. They are there, they're doing their own thing, but I guess they are also being slowly mixed up in all the kerfuffle that is happening in the town itself. But yeah, what is happening? Who are the responsible parties? And is Atro really dead or alive? I guess we will have to keep on going with the story to figure that one out. But yeah, let's begin, shall we? Alright, so today's episode will cover the next 4 stages. Last time we ended on stage 3, today we will begin with stage 4, continue with 5, 6, and end on 7. So, let's begin on 4. Titled Vengeful Soul. Disorder will dredge up the hatred that has slept within the depths of time and the hearts of men. These ancient howls unravel the minds of those who normally would disregard and scream for justice. Alright, let's begin with the before part. So then, remember in the previous part, we had a short little mention that there was a sniper operator together with Atro here. Well, look at who it is! How? It's awful. A fire. It's already been dealt with, and some time has passed, but... Here, Rhode Island supply crates. With dates, serial numbers, everything. There's an outline in the ash. Looks like there was something rectangular sitting on the box. Maybe Atro's ID badge? She didn't like to wear it. Operator Click, Operator Airscarp. I hope this is how you pronounce his name, by the way. I have no idea how it's supposed to be pronounced, outside of the fact that, well, I've heard this Japanese VA pronounce his name, but again, it's pronounced by a Japanese VA. That could mean anything. Anyway. Our situation has changed. Yeah, I already know. Since you and Ayers rescued me from the mountain, I'm more than glad to help. Don't call me Ayers. What has Leonhard been telling you? The catastrophe was immensely destructive. Wolumonde will not be in better shape now. What were the catastrophe messengers doing? Things wouldn't have gotten so bad if Leonhard or Earth Spirit were there. No point thinking about that now. We should prepare for the worst. Any objections to setting up camp outside the town? None whatsoever. I am after all a professional catastrophe messenger bodyguard, and this is the wunderkind who nearly got herself killed shooting videos deep in the Winter Wisp Mountains. Why are you still rubbing salt into my wounded pride? Just kidding, but Greythroat wouldn't want us to storm the town and kick in the doors of the mayor's office, would she? Sorry, please be patient. I have to confirm what happened to Atro. I'll be right back. Meanwhile, at the mayor's office. Famine? Yes, famine ruins everyone. I know what you're going to say. A town the size of Wolumonde should be self-sufficient. The day the Great Rift happened, there wasn't so much originium breaking through the ground, carving up the land, ruining farms and granaries. We've been very lucky, in fact. There haven't been any explosions in the town center or any of the very populated areas, but even so, the losses have been severe. That, on top of an inopportune season. We're well into autumn, and we're on a course for the Winter Wisp Mountains. Winter's coming early this year. We haven't announced it to the public yet, as to not cause a panic. And then we were stabbed in the back by our own people, unwitting as they may be. What do we do then, about the traders? Tatiana took the young people to survey the situation. No one could reach the power plant without a guide. Each district should have its own auxiliary hauling equipment. What's the situation? Too slow. At best an eighth the speed of the other towns. We wouldn't get out of the mountains before winter. We can't let anything happen to the granary. Send more men. Men? Even if we're talking old folks and children, anyone who's willing to carry a weapon is already... But they wouldn't go so far as to attack the granary. That's tantamount to killing every last person in Wolumonde. You give them too much credit. Okay, I also want to point out that there are 2 spots right now. It says Severin, but the other council member is highlighted. Anyway. Go ahead.
12 Donteknichstrasse, the quarantine zone, isn't as bleak as it is because...
Would you believe me if I told you we had to cut down on rations entirely because of the infected population? No, it doesn't matter if you believe me or not. Would they believe me? They would tear down the granary doors and count every last grain before they believe anything that came out of us. So, do we let them tear it down? I wouldn't mind a little open honesty if they really just wanted to take a look, but not everyone's going to let it end there. Even without an official announcement, anyone smart enough would be able to figure it out with a calendar and a look at our route that Wolumonde is bound for a terrible winter famine. They stirred the people up into a frenzy. They looted. They're just thinking of themselves, making sure they can survive, whether or not it means someone else has to starve. To put it bluntly, they want an excuse to steal. I believe Rhode Island has the expertise of dealing with the infected, like you say, Dr. Atro's professionalism and your combat skills prove that much. But is a ripathy the only problem in the world?
Even at a time like this, I have to ask after Atro. That was a murder.
Everyone out. The Rhode Islanders have something important to discuss with the Schultz. Severin? I know. Then, I leave it to you.
I guess this isn't a topic you can put on the agenda.
Should I have added murder as old business or new business?
It's all a consequence of your cover-up. No need for formalities. I'm disgusted with you. Rhode Island Operator Dr was murdered in the course of the duties here in Wolumonde, and I need answers. And according to a particular infected resident, they are also hunting this murderer.
Maybe the killer is one of those infected. Like when a thief cries out thief. Oldest trick in the book.
Maybe. But before we discuss the murder, I'd like...
Stop. You don't have to say it. I do have enough of a conscience left that your request would wound me. But Wolumonde needs Rhode Island's help to get out of this mess, and there is no point in making things hard for you anymore. Come with me.
What is this place?
Sorry about the hasty handling, but they're mostly infected. We had to put them somewhere underground to keep the others from panicking.
It's cold.
I make sure to keep the refrigeration units running.
Impressive arts, as to be expected from a Leithanien officer.
8 victims. 4 from Wolumonde, Dr. Atro, and 3 infected outlanders.
Including your son, Mr. Thorwald.
Tatiana told you that too, huh? It's true. Because I wasn't there.
Here you are, Atro. You really gave me the runaround here. You stupid cat.
Incredible. How can she tell?
Could we give them some space?
All right. As strong as she is, I forgot she's just another girl trying her hardest to move on. Same age as Tatiana, too.
Tatiana is holding up.
I know.
Hey, I told you to quit smoking.
Maybe.
Smoking will only make your bronchitis worse. Are you?
You got it, little fox. You're sharper than I expected. But do me a favor and keep it to yourself.
Do you feel any better, Miss Folinic? Yes.
Quite impressive, exhibiting such resilience at your age.
I know my eyes are swollen. Are you mocking me?
You lost a good friend, and you're still keeping your calm. What could I possibly mock you about?
Things aren't over yet.
You're right, it isn't. Now I hope we can work together.
What is this?
The art score of the L-44 gramophone, autonomous defense system. To put it bluntly, this is your murder weapon. Of course, civilians aren't allowed to possess destructive power like this, but any educated Leithanien would know how to drive this core. Overloading, heating, and igniting are all features of our town's defensive equipment. Originium Arts engineering is complex. Not everyone can use it.
So this is it. Someone used this to kill Atro. We have to find the murderer.
And then what?
And then I'll make them pay.
How about that? You move past restlessness and sorrow, and you choose revenge.
Miss Folinic, we shouldn't. I know. Of course I know. As a Rhode Island operator, as Dr. Kaltzit's student, I should know better than anyone. But the murderer, and the murderer alone, must face justice. What did Atro do? She was helping the infected. What did she do to deserve this? At least let me ask them. I have to know why. I understand. Schultz Severin, Miss Suzuran, Oh, Miss Folinic has already seen.
They had their time together. You look flustered. Did something happen?
Yes, during our inspection, a fight broke out between the infected and the non-infected.
Again.
But this time, the councillors weren't even able to calm them down. They're demanding a declaration of war against the armed infected.
People must be starting to understand what it means to have our town's movement basically crippled. They can't hold it in any longer.
But there's more. Many of the residents who were working with the infected were themselves uninfected. I
already figured as much.
Huh?
The winter wisps. Those damn savages. They're back to haunt Wolumonde again. And speaking of the winter wisps, on this stage for the first time we have this little unit join the fray. The Winter Wisp Blood Shaman. And I would like to add the description of this guy here because of one little detail that always kinda pops up here and there in places. It says here, locals who have studied the ancient arts of winter wisps are much more terrifying than modern casters. Their ancient sacrificial rituals are capable of instantly dealing area arts damage, as well as severing arts ley lines to seize control of the L-44 gramophones. Now, I'm pointing this out because of the line of ancient arts more terrifying than modern. And we've seen this in a couple of places throughout stories where a person like, for example, Patriot, who was capable of bestowing and teaching others to use ancient blood rituals, was able to even make even people who don't have any kind of arts proficiency way more powerful just by teaching them how to operate and use arts that are a lost kind of battle technique. So very interesting. Kind of old ancient arts being more powerful than anything modern that utilizes like modern machines and other modern arts units and circuits. But anyway, continuing on to stage 4. To stage 4, to the after story, pardon.
Mama? Mama, where are you going? To the Highlands? The Flowery Highlands? But that's where the bad man who hurt Papa is. Are you going to punish him? Will that bring Papa back? No? Then I don't want you to go. You have to go? But I don't want you to go back to Ursus. The bread there is so hard, and winter is so cold. Mama? Mama. Mama never came back either. I used the money she left me to continue my studies in Ursus and to live. Alone. I waited alone for years. I lived alone for years. Until Dr. Kaltzit appeared before me. She said she was the head of a research institute, and she came to get me. Dr. Kaltzit was tired then, even more tired than she is now. I later learned she had just returned from some faraway place when she found me. After that I joined Rhode Island. I asked Dr. Kaltzit where Mama went. She didn't say much, just that Mama and Papa were together, buried deep inside Ursus. She is my most respected teacher, my most honored leader. She guided me, educated me, not only with her words, but also through what she and her countless operators did for the infected. But the one thing Dr. Kaltzit never did was answer my simplest question. On whom or what do I take my revenge?
For anyone who is interested and is listening to this for the first time, and hasn't read or heard the... why am I blanking out on the name? A Walk in the Dust side story. This is pretty much... these Folinic sentences were pretty much referencing events that you can see unfold and see what pretty much happened to her mother during that time in Ursus, where she went to take some revenge. So I would highly recommend. Very interesting story overall. Anyway.
Lisa, you don't have to come with me. I'm worried. You shouldn't be. I'm just going to look around and see if maybe there are some clues about that armed infected group. Do you think they're behind it? I'm not sure. That's the obvious answer, since we have no evidence. But with the town as it is, they're the most likely suspects, aren't they? And winter wisp. Severin wouldn't say much about it, so I couldn't be sure exactly what it means. But since they're in cahoots with the militia group, they're at the top of the list too. The mountain range near here is called the Winter Wisp Mountains. It's a barren place, covered with ice and snow year-round. Could that have to do with anything? I really don't know. All I can say for sure is I have to find our murderer, and then pull my answers out of them. Folinic, you've been really scary since yesterday. I'm sorry, Lisa. Not everyone is so easily calmed. This is the second time I've had to say goodbye to someone like that, and this time I'm not leaving with regrets. Come out. I won't hurt you. Aw, I like to think I'm pretty good at hiding. How did you see me? Intuition? Let's call it that. Who are you? Oof, this guy seems like a pain in the ass.
Also, I would like to point out, I think this is way before, was originally released way before Mudrock got officially released, story-wise and unit-wise. And obviously it is way before anybody actually knew that Mudrock is a chick. And because of the outside of appearance and her talking through that mask, to other people they assume it's just a maybe potentially younger Sarkas dude. So moving onward, just keep that in mind, because the text is obviously written to be like, who is this guy? Anyway. Then stop talking to him. I've gone through some of Rhode Island's battle records. You're no ordinary infected.
Rhode Island? So you are Rhode Island operators? What do we do? Fight?
Greythroat isn't back yet. We have to stall him, at least. Calm down. Don't attack him. Click. Don't do anything stupid.
I'm sorry. Did I see your pupils flash red for a moment? Is that some kind of stress reaction? Did I scare you? Sorry, I just wanted you to know you can't fight me. If you are from Wolumonde, you better leave. It's dangerous. If angry winter wisps or infected found you, you'd be in mortal danger.
Thanks for the warning. But why are you here?
I just came to lay some flowers, and then I leave.
Is that an ordinary wildflower you're holding there?
It's cold here in the fall. I dream a lot. I dream of these flowers. They're like the children of that snowy mountain, icy cold. Rest in peace. Did he really just come to pray? He wouldn't just be using this as a cover for some kind of Originium art, would he?
With his face hidden, I can't tell whether he's lying or not, but it does seem genuinely sad.
Don't move. Don't turn around. Put your hands up. Greythroat! When did you get here? You're pretty smooth. Whatever. Your bolts can't hurt me, Rhode Island crossbowman. I said, don't move. I just want to ask you something. A conversation doesn't reveal your strength. What's the point? Don't say I didn't warn you. Look, I've caught your bolt. You can't put a scratch on me.
He blocked her shot with a rock?
No, it's arts. He actually caught the bolt with mud. Oh? No. At least you didn't shoot without warning. I hate sneak attacks. You're not so bad. And, if you wound up that second bolt, what would have happened? That depends on whether or not you have time to protect your neck with your arts. Even if I don't, I do have a very thick suit of armor. Doesn't matter, since you have no intention of fighting to the death. I've had enough. Can I go? Sorry, but no. As expected. So many Leithanians have joined us, and our ranks have grown bountiful and diverse. But you, a crossbowman, you would not have missed the symbol. This is a symbol that once belonged to the infected. Reunion lit the fire that was, is, and will always be burning across all corners of Terra. But Reunion does not represent all infected. So, what about you? Are you from Leithanien yourself? Or are you an exile who wandered here, weighted down by sin and intrigue? Me? I guess so. Our aimless journey began in Casdal, and we've been on the run ever since. Wolumonde is a mess, and I'm sure you had something to do with it. Right. There's no way we would. But I am not Reunion either. Not anymore. I'm just a captain of Mudrocks squad. A mercenary? No, let's say I'm just an infected. Why does it sound like he's always talking to himself? What kind of reunion guy thinks like that?
Please be quiet while the team leader negotiates. If you really have nothing better to do, you can record it.
Oh yeah, fire up the camera! But, really, what am I? I'm not a mercenary. I'm not reunion. As things are now, I'm... Oh. What? My art's dirty the flowers. They're so hard to find this time of year. If you want to fight, can we do it somewhere else? You have a way with words, but no. Click, Airscarp. Keep your guard up, but don't attack him. Stay clear. Phew!
Roger.
Thanks. One of our operators seems to have gotten caught up in this fire. I need answers. My condolences, but we also lost 4 of ours to the fire. We're not so good with crime scene investigation or anything like that, but there are a lot of Leithanians with us. They've all been educated, and they have a natural talent for arts unlike people from other countries. At least, I am sure someone did this, and it was no accident. Who? If we knew, he'd already be dead, and the town would be at peace. Then tell me, what do you know? Like, what was that winter wisp you just mentioned? I think you misunderstood. I am not your enemy. I am only here to pay respects to my people. But maybe someday we will fight each other. I have no reason to trust you or share information with you. So that's it then. But it doesn't matter. I've gleaned a lot from your attitude alone. By the way, have you been to the town? Yes. What did you think of it? It's a mess. The infected have risen up in protest, and they're fighting with the non-infected. Your people whipped them into a frenzy. That's not good. So many innocent people hurt, but until Wolumonde admits its guilt, and until they hand over the murderer, there can't be peace. How could I convince them to stop when they're outraged by the deaths of their people? It sounds like things have spun out of your ability to control them. Yes, more and more people keep getting sucked into it. Sooner or later, so will we. We are not in a position to move around so easily, but you are. Oh, I've said enough. I still can't completely trust you, Rhode Island. Right, still not enough trust, so that's it. Goodbye. Greythroat, that guy is really scary, even scarier than all those big felines back at Rhode Island. At least he wasn't being very aggressive, but if he does have a whole squad with him, Wolumonde is in no condition to fight them.
So we let them go?
A direct attack is out of the question, and agitating them will only make Wolumonde's situation worse. Not to mention, we still don't know where Atro is.
If this does have something to do with reunion, things will be much more difficult. Have we made contact with the Operators Folinic and Suzuran?
No, the town is so chaotic. I was reluctant to even visit the town hall as an official representative of Rhode Island. But I found something very concerning. This doesn't seem to be a typical infected conflict.
True. Leithanien has always been rather gentle in its treatment of the infected. Something very unusual must have happened to push things this far.
That winter wisp is an important clue. We might have to investigate it further. Airscarp, you come with me. Click, I'd like you to scout out their camp. We need to get a handle on the size of their team and their modus operandi. Just a quick look, carefully. Roger.
If I'd known it would turn out like this,
I would have stayed in the dormitory to watch Leonhard play with rocks. Oh, you would have regretted that as well. Alright, humming. I do not know what the melody here is, so we're just gonna do a poem recitement, I guess. Winter wisp, oh winter wisp. Winter wisp? Where did you hear that word?
Who are you? Rhode Island? Outlanders shouldn't be meddling. This has nothing to do with you.
I don't know of any winter wisp. Leave me alone.
Winter wisp? No, there are no winter wisps in Wolumonde. Haven't been for a long time.
A long time?
No, I mean, oh, I shouldn't be talking to you. Listen, I don't care what it is you're doing, but Wolumonde is a tighter community than you can imagine. Most folks won't even tell you this rule, but I'll make an exception and explain it to you. The winter wisps are part of Wolumonde's history, but they're a pretty controversial topic. Seems to me there is a big controversy over the winter wisps right now. Pardon. You mean the power plant getting destroyed the other day? There's worse than that.
Worse than leaving Wolumonde stranded in this wasteland in the dead of winter? Wolumonde was hard hit by a catastrophe, and enduring the winter will be much more difficult.
Don't get ahead of yourself, outsider. This issue is absolutely taboo. The noble lords come down hard, and I don't want any trouble. If you really want to know about the winter wisps, go ask them yourselves.
Huh? How can we find a winter wisp if we don't know what it is? That doesn't make any sense.
Enough. Figure it out yourselves. I don't know anything.
Hey. He's gone. Can you believe that guy? A tight community. It is really tight-knit. Maybe we should go and ask Mr. Severin? Well, we did make a major breakthrough. I just hope he doesn't dodge the subject like he did last time. But the sun is already going down. Bliet, how is it another day goes by and we are still none the wiser? Please come down, Miss Folinic. I'm calm. There's something wrong here. I know it, but Atro, she... What the hell am I going to do? What can I do? Mama.
The humming continues, the song goes on. Such a brittle little branch. Winter wisp, oh winter wisp. Weary of a long life, weary of a long death. Sing out your song, firm and strong. Singing through summer, and on through winter. Winter wisp, oh winter wisp. Alright, continuing on to stage 5. Winter Wisp's Elegy. The poems of the Winter Wisp clan appear only in ancient ceremonies and funerals. But where are these rituals, and who is this funeral for? So let's begin with the before part.
Singing? How? Wow, it's echoing through the whole town.
A pale blue light spills over the desolate streets. In amongst the flickers of illumination are people and the lives they led. The two stand alone in an otherwise empty town. The hazy song waves into a web, and the sun continues to set. Exposed originium clusters, restless protesters, pale starlight, and mud bricks all fall silent together. All that remains is the song.
What is this? What am I seeing? Are these Originium arts? A folk song? Or a poem? At sunset? Is this a Wolumonde tradition? Miss Folinic, do you understand the lyrics? No. Is that the Leithanien tongue? It doesn't sound like modern Leithanien pronunciation. But it sounds nice. It reminds me of looking out over the plains from the bridge of Rhode Island for the very first time. It's melodious, ancient. This is also arts, but the same kind as the ancient arts of Higashi.
Interesting, ancient arts of Higashi, similar to this. Find them. Sure, but then what? Arrest them? Yes. That'll just stir up even more resentment. We're doing this to keep them from fomenting animosity between infected and non-infected. The winter wisps may have been behind all this.
Mr. Severin? What is this?
It's a winter wisp ballad for rituals and funerals. The winter wisps are responsible for agitating infected conflicts and leading the partisans to destroy our power plant. Now is not the time for leniency. They're trying to tell us something. They wouldn't tip their hand for no reason. There must be others out there in the shadows, probably casters. Keep an eye out.
What exactly is a winter wisp?
Local Capernae. They were the people of these mountains centuries ago.
What happened to them?
Wolumonde clashed with the winter wisps. Nothing more.
No, there's more to it than that. Columbia and Rimbiliton, pretty much every country has some kind of history of settler colonialism. There's another force at work here. You're just looking for a simple answer to dodge the question, aren't you? You just leave it as conflicts and clashes.
I'm not sure I should be talking about this with you. It goes beyond what Rhode Island has a need to know. A gendarmerie telling these things to a foreign enterprise will make certain aristocrats very unhappy.
You're worried about unhappy aristocrats? Atro sacrificed herself for you, and you're talking about saving face. Miss Folinic, her sacrifice shouldn't be ammunition for an argument. Mr. Severin, can you please stop this manhunt? It's only agitating people. It's only going to make things worse. No, we're following our only lead. We can't afford to lose it. Huh? Severin, with as many nomadic cities as there are in Leithanien, do you really think any of these nobles give a shit about you from atop their ivory towers? Even considering the Great Rift, if a nearby city were to offer support, would there really be a famine? Severin, look at the situation. See for yourself. Who is really here to help you?
I know, Miss Folinic. I know better than anyone. But I also know Rhode Island can't help us forever. Once we are safe again and Wolumonde is back on course, I don't want to be getting letters from those ivory towers. You have to understand that.
But, Miss Folinic, we... an explosion? Another attack? Schultz, help! We need help!
Slow down. What happened?
They activated those town defense things. They exploded and everything's burning.
Calm down.
Schultz, the infected. They've captured all of the gendarmerie patrolling Southtown Technikstrasse. We lost contact with them. They're using the gramophones to push us back. The whole district is out of control.
They shouldn't be so well organized. Who's leading them?
We don't know, but a lot of the non-infected have joined the protests. Wolumonde is completely divided.
Damn you winter wisps. Surround the district. Control the crowd. We have to take the town back.
Schultz.
Damn it. You get back to the rat house and sound the alarm. This has devolved into something far worse than just a dispute between the infected. I'm putting Wolumonde under martial law. Raise the entire militia.
But if we start killing each other now, Wolumonde won't survive the winter.
I give you an order.
Yes, sir.
As for you, Rhode Islanders, do what you feel is right. To be frank, I don't have time to keep an eye on you.
I still need more information. But we should do what we can to help people first. A lot of innocent civilians are getting caught up in this mess. We'll find the killer. That takes priority.
I promise, Wolumonde will provide Rhode Island with a satisfactory answer.
I hope you'll keep that promise.
If I'm still alive by then.
Miss Folinic, we should have stopped Mr. Severin. No use. You saw them. The pressure's gotten to them. Oh, is that so? But if a famine really is as imminent as the officer says, we'll still have to... The only way to calm everyone down is to find the murderer as soon as possible, and letting our one lead go cold isn't an option. That's not what I meant. Miss Folinic, do you really think finding the killer will solve all our problems? Try to stay calm, Miss Folinic. Suzuran? You know, everyone is burning with rage right now. Nobody has a clear head. I think it's just my gut feeling, but my intuition is usually pretty accurate. I think maybe something even worse is starting to happen. The kind of thing that you can't be sure if it's right or wrong. What we have to do is try to help as many innocent people as we can. Nick, if we don't stop Mr. Severin, things are going to get really, really bad. Maybe you're right.
Alright, and into the after story we go. Actually, is that the stage where they appear for the first time? No, that's the next one. Alright. After story.
Hurry! This way! Thanks. Folinic! Nisa, take the civilians and get out of here. Are the rioters just attacking at random?
Hey, it wasn't easy to get that gizmo. You better shoot straight. Shut it, this thing isn't easy to use. Luckily I studied at the conservatory. Which one? Hey, gendarmerie, don't do anything stupid. We got hostages. What hostages? Arschgeige. Sorry, I had to stop and look at the word for a second. I forgot that he says that here. The ones running down the street. By the way, Arschgeige is just a German insult. Directly translated, it would literally just mean butt and violin. So yeah, there you go. You'll learn German today.
Miss Folinic, you have to stop them. Everything here is made of wood. This whole block will go up in flames.
Fire! Put it out! Everyone else! Get out of here!
So many innocent people will make it out in time. We must save them. How are we supposed to get over there? The fire! Folinic, please, tend to the wounded. Hey!
Winter wisps. Infected. Vermin. Why did you burn my home? Why? We did so much for you.
Watch your head.
Huh? Oh. Tatiana, are you okay?
I'm fine, but they can't control those automatic turrets, arts units. We're in danger here.
We'll fight back together. Push them out.
Now? Isn't the time...
Your foot... fine, I'll listen to you.
get out of here. This terrible pain in my ankle. Is my bone broken? Damn it. I have to get back to the others.
You, double puppet.
Huh?
Knock the shit out of her. They all routed?
Yes. Mr. Severin, we have a lot of wounded. We need help.
Medics, you are to obey this young Vulpo's every word. Able-bodied youth will help as well.
Yes, sir. If only Miss Folinic was here.
Wait, she isn't back yet? Oi, where are Folinic and Tatiana? I think they're still in 12-ton Technique Strasse. Did I not just ask if they all routed? Sorry sir, but Folinic and Tatiana should be alright. They've saved many lives. What do you mean they'll be alright? The insurgents have control of our town's defenses. We have no regular troops, and... Get some heavies and come with me. But they have firepower and maybe hostages. We shouldn't provoke them anymore. Let's wait for a chance to parley. A chance? You're going to wait for the enemy to give you a chance. Have you ever fought a battle? Sorry.
But his concerns are reasonable. The active Originium left behind by the Great Rift are likely still in the foundation of Wolumonde. The consequences of letting them destroy it would be unthinkable.
Where did you come from? You shouldn't be here. No. With no gendarmerie, we're the ones who should be here. I've seen you before, Rhodes Island Operator.
Thank you for understanding. Airscarp.
A quick on-the-spot assessment. If they continue to bombard the area with the device, we have 10 to 30 minutes before Wolumonde comes to a halt. The best way to handle this would be to sever the link between this district and the rest of the city. But Wolumonde is no nomadic city. Individual districts do not have the power to move autonomously. Actually, a tractor could do it. But not when the streets are full of rebels.
Is there an application procedure for an armed intervention?
Go nuts. And please, be sure to save Tatiana and Folinic.
Mr. Severin, we need... Lisa? Is that Operator Greythroat? And who's this?
Operator Airscarp, bodyguard of Catastrophe Messenger Leonhard. He's out on another mission, so I got dragged over here.
Lisa, where are Atro and Folinic? Miss Folinic is still in there, but Miss Atro, he's It's okay, I understand. I just had to be sure. We'll talk about it later. It's nice to have some senior operators coming to help. But I still need to stay focused. I'll take care of the wounded. Whatever you do, please bring Miss Folinic back safely. Right, I will.
Such a young child. She's an operator.
Amia isn't much older than Lisa, you know.
Yeah. We did not plan for this rescue, nor do we have the protective equipment. Are you going to be okay?
Yes.
What a surprise. They always said you couldn't handle working around the Reginium. I was worried.
I've had enough of tragedy is all. Saving lives is what matters. Cut the chatter.
What the? More people coming in? And they're fast. Get rid of them. So many locals. You fine with that?
Avoid the vitals. Engage.
Also, for those of you who have seen Greythroat in the main story and have finished that part of the story, look at that character growth. She is growing over her own shadow slowly. But anyway, continuing on to stage 6. Fanning flames. Now resentment transcends reason. Let's begin.
Where am I? So dizzy, but I can see and hear. I can't feel my ankle. It's so quiet. Where did everyone go? Silent as the grave. Did the rioters just leave me here? You're awake. Calm down. Oh, sorry, you startled me. Huh? I know you. You're from Rhode Island. Greythroat, operator. Keep your voice down. We took care of the rebels in this area. Took care of them? Even at this point, you still don't see them as the enemy. Relax. Most of them are still alive. Handed over to the officer Severin Hawthorne. Thanks. Oh, what about Miss Folinic? She's fine. I sent another operator to help her, but... Did Atro really sacrifice herself? Yes, I'm sorry. That explains the way Folinic has been acting. Just a few operators won't be able to retake the neighborhood on their own. We should all fall back to the town center and regroup. Right. Can you walk? You injured your ankle. I can try. Ow! Here, let me help you. Thanks. One more question, Miss Tatiana. When I came here with Atro, Wolumonde was still thriving. So what happened to all the gendarmerie? There isn't a single one left in town.
What indeed happened? Put down your weapon. Look at yourself. You don't even have a decent set of clothes. You're going to fight like that? What do you outsiders know? What do you even get out of helping those noble puppets?
Nothing. I'm not interested in your politics at all, but are you a Winterwisp?
Winterwisp? I'm not aboriginal, but I do acknowledge their struggle. How about you? Dr. Atro was a good person, but you're just here to help them crush us. Wolumonde, no, all of Leithanien is rotten to the core. Today they burned the infected alive, tomorrow it will be the entire working class. Where's your proof? There's not a single gendarmerie in Wolumonde, not one. Why do you think that is?
Wolumonde and several surrounding towns formed a collective settlement network. When the catastrophe struck, there were not enough gendarmerie to take care of all the...
Oh, really? If it was that simple, nobody would mind.
Enough stalling. Out with it.
For a wedding. A wedding? Some great nobleman in his high tower married the only daughter of another nobleman, so they sent all the gendarmerie over to the nearest nomadic city. And how long do you think the aristocrats' drunken revelries are gonna last? You wanna guess? Oh, and I almost forgot about the part where the nobles argued back and forth for a month about whose city should move to whose territory. So our gendarmerie had to go stand around some fancy mansions to boost a fortunate son's ego and maybe keep out the riffraff. Is that funny? Are you laughing? Because I'm not.
No, it's not funny, but that still doesn't give any leads as to the fire.
Think about it. Who's going to set fire to a medical camp that treats infected? Would the infected do that? It could only be someone who wants to see the infected suffer. You should be on our side. The side of reunion. Oh, sure. Schultz, the rebels refuse to surrender. There aren't many of them.
The truly horrific thing about this disaster is that both sides are ordinary civilians. There are no warriors here. We should do everything we can to avoid the worst case scenario. Greythroat! Miss Tatiana, you're back! And we're going to make the murderer pay for their crimes.
Tatiana!
Uncle, I'm sorry. I was careless.
No, all that matters is that you're safe.
Operator Folinic, glad to see you're safe and sound. Greythroat, I recall it was you who came with Atro to Wolumonde. Do you know what happened? I've got the gist of it. Do you think, if you were with her, that things would have turned out differently?
Folinic, you shouldn't...
No, the myriad contradictions that this crisis has revealed in Wolumonde can't be solved by external force. There is nothing we could have done. But at least I should have been there with her, to do what I could. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't with her. No. It was wrong of me to push that on you just to make myself feel better. What the hell am I doing? I'm the one who should be sorry.
People, let me start by offering my sincere thanks to Rhode Island for saving Tatiana.
Rhode Island is an organization dedicated to helping the infected. Severin Hawthorne, Leithanien is known for its lenient treatment of the infected, but I still have to ask, before we get down to business, on behalf of Wolumonde, can you guarantee that Wolumonde has not, in light of these exceptional circumstances, taken additional measures against the infected population?
The investigations you carried out with Miss Suzuran should have corroborated this. Wolumonde has in no way, at no point, targeted the infected, nor have we ever held ill will toward Dr. Atro, who aided the infected. Are you satisfied?
Miss Folinic, I believe Mr. Severin.
Why?
Well, I'm not sure, but I do believe him. He wouldn't hurt the infected people. Okay, Lisa, I trust your instincts, for now.
Thank you for your understanding. Now, I'd like to hear your opinions on what to do next.
I'm not as familiar with the field as Folinic. I followed her instructions during the operation. There aren't a lot of them out there. Counting those we have successfully subdued, there can't be more than 100 or so.
100 or so rioters wouldn't be able to terrorize Wolumonde under normal circumstances.
As for the gendarmerie, I've heard some interesting rumors.
That was one of the very few unfortunate decisions I've made in my military career. We can't do anything about it, so let's shove it for now.
Allow me to interject. I'd like to discuss that captive who called himself Reunion. Huh? We have made contact with a certain lone member of the Reunion movement, and he has very little in common with the outraged citizenry. He's a battle-hardened warrior, and if he came with a squad, he could be a problem.
The partisans. This is not good news.
Reunion. Chernobog, Ursus. Not Ursus again. Why should I believe a single word they say?
The fire was the trigger for all of this, but there was always a high risk of conflict. Did these underlying problems cause the fire, or was the fire the catalyst that revealed these problems?
Do we have a choice? Do we have to fight?
This is the choice that decides the fate of Wolumonde. Thousands of lives hang in the balance. We can't be hasty. We should return to the rat house for a formal resolution. But it looks like the other side won't give us the chance.
If Reunion really is here, there's no need for a light touch. Roger that. However, Folinic, you should stay here and tend to the wounded. I'd rather get in there Lisa, Operator Suzuran is not a fully accredited medic operator. Only you are. You should prioritize protecting the innocent over defeating the enemy. I... Miss Folinic, you should stay here. If you keep fighting that hard, that aggressively, you won't be you anymore. Right. Okay. I'll stay.
Alright, continuing on with the after story. We're going to let them use us for nothing? What's gonna happen if they really start calling themselves Reunion?
They definitely will. We'll be hunted down. A town of this size can't do anything to us, but what if it was an entire nomadic city?
If we took just one of the big Leithanien bankers, musicians, or aristocrats out of their fancy towers, we'd be set for life.
Pride will ruin them.
It's the same pride that keeps Leithanien's aggressive streak in check. We should avoid making trouble in Wolumonde. We still have nowhere else to go.
We should not meet on the battlefield. This is no battlefield, is it? You, all of you, your time grows short.
Who are you talking to?
No, just musing. Winter is coming.
Thank you, Mr. Stark.
And we will have no choice.
Good thing her voice actor is not Sean Bean. Anyway.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Now, any more questions?
Just to be sure, how did you identify the 8 corpses, Officer Severin?
Body type, sex, approximate age, a list of the town's missing persons. But now is not the time to discuss the fire. We have more pressing issues at hand.
I don't disagree, but... what have you got? The number of infected people who lost their lives in the fire was 4, according to the reunion member we spoke to.
Is there a reason we should care what the enemy has to say?
With all due respect, this does matter. Caring what he says is different from trusting it. We have a major risk of misunderstanding here.
I still don't think this will solve the problem. Uncovering the truth about the fire will not improve our situation.
It means a lot to me.
Then with all due respect, Miss Folinic, you've been letting your emotions pull you around too much.
But you must...
I fight for Wolumonde and Wolumonde alone. This is my duty. I'm not here to serve the justice in your heart. I have a responsibility to give the truth to Rhode Island, not your thirst for revenge.
You... No, you're right. I need to go calm down. I'll go help Lisa with the wounded.
Then it's settled. Our top priority is to retake 12-Tone Technique Strasse. War is inevitable at this point. Rhode Island will need to focus on the fight for the automated arts units, all while keeping a close eye on the Sarkas and other partisans. Direct crowd control will be on us. The most difficult jobs we give to you. Did I say too much?
No. Tell me, what did you see in their eyes? The insurgents and the angry townspeople? If they manage to overwhelm us, that will be the end of the town of Wolumonde. And regardless of what the truth may be, headlines around the world would read, "Reunion resurfaces and destroys a town in Leithanien." After so many sacrifices, so many goodbyes, I did not want to see it happen again. Airscarp, contact Click. It's time to regroup. I'm going to check on the infected captives. Schultz, I saw Miss Folinic already left. Is the meeting over?
Yes, thank you. They're getting loud out there. They think they can destroy our homes and get away with it. They trashed my shop and beat my children. These damn traitors, ingrates, after all we gave them. We have to fight back. Fight back, fight back. Okay, everybody just yelling in unison, fight back, fight back. And they still keep going. They are getting very boiled. Look at them. Every one of them an avatar of justice.
Uncle, you really shouldn't smoke.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, all better. That being said, you still have a mild infection, so don't go abusing Originium arts.
Is that a joke? I'm a Leithanien. An educated Leithanien. How could I...
No fighting.
No, it's not about fighting. Without arts, I can't even use my refrigerator.
You just use it normally, through the device. Don't irritate your in your body. That way, you don't worsen your infection.
I cheaped out and bought a second-hand one that needs a caster to operate.
No.
You're an outsider. What do you know? Will I ever get to lead a normal life? With what we're fighting against,
Okay. Just remember to take care of yourself so you don't get worse. You're still pretty healthy. And no more using arts.
We're fighting against... Never mind. What can I say to a child?
Alright. Next up. Oh, an old man? What's he doing here at his age?
A nine-tailed wolpo. That's something you don't see every day. That reminds me. I've been hearing a lot of talk of winter wisps and outlanders. Would that be you?
Oh, yes. Can you tell me where you're hurt?
Oh, I'm not hurt. I'm just here to wait for death. I am old and getting sleepy.
Dev, let's not get too morbid here.
Child, I'm a winter wisp. Last of the winter wisp's clansmen, in fact.
What?
You're awfully cute when you're shook, child. And I sense no hostility from you.
The last? But everyone's been saying the winter wisps are helping the infected rebels.
It's only when they're so filled with hate that they think of their heritage. And that heritage is just an excuse. They hate something else altogether. Would you indulge an old man for a minute? I'm already your prisoner, after all. I'm not going to do anything. Ever again. I'm too old.
Oh, as old as you are, I should treat you, even if it's just a flesh wound.
I'm still pretty strong in my old age. No, that's a lie. My clansmen mostly went elsewhere, or they intermarried with the people of Wolumonde. In the end, how many real winter wisps are left? Just a few of us old foggies.
Sir, what did you do?
I killed many people. A traveling merchant who came to Wolumonde, a noble who dared to wander into the wilds, and so many more. At first we thought it was justified, proper vengeance. So the old-timers did all the hard work. The younger ones just stood by. None of it meant anything to their lives anymore. But vengeance? We couldn't kill the traitors. We couldn't kill the rotten nobles. It turns out we could only unleash our hatred on so many innocents. We couldn't defeat Leithanien. not its laws, not the mighty roar of its engines, of its nomadic cities. We started giving up. I escaped into Wolumonde, and Severin picked off the other old clansmen one by one. He's a hunter. Never wavers. But they say he'll sit with the dying enemy and have one last smoke with him. Too bad today's manufactured cigarettes are awful. As for me, I built myself a nest out of a scavenged tin underneath Wolumonde. Severin didn't get the last one in the end. Am I afraid to die? Eh. Believe me, little wolf girl, I am not afraid. I just want to hear the sound of a town's power plant roaring to life after my own lifetime of fruitless revenge. Maybe someday Wolumonde will grow into a nomadic city, or maybe it'll die out. But, I'm a winter wisp. Was I furious the first time I saw that boiler heat up and send the town crawling away? Yes, but what could I do? I remember it. I just cried. It surged, it scorched, it singed, unstoppable. What could I do with only my bow and a short sword? I fell in love with it, with this murder weapon. But Biederman did it, treacherous boy. A catastrophe messenger and an outsider. What I'd never dared to do in my entire life.
Slow down, sir. That Biederman you're talking about? I remember a catastrophe messenger in Leithanien by that name, but I think he died in the fire.
I'm not sure about that. He's the one giving the orders.
So that means...
You know that feeling of powerlessness?
Huh?
When I watched Biederman take the infected, the arts, the destruction, when I watched him ruin the power plant, I was completely powerless. It turns out the thing that conquered us all those years ago was just a big hunk of iron. How very I've become. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm listening.
Don't rush to revenge. Don't fight. Listen to me, girl. The winter wisps aren't the reason for all this. At least not anymore. How many here in Wolumonde have the winter wisp blood in their veins? We were the ones who built this place in the beginning. Winter wisp. Winter wisp is Wolumonde. It's the moon. And they destroyed themselves.
So that's the story.
Look, little Wolpo girl. Do you see where the road leads?
Up ahead? It's an ordinary road. It leads to the town hall.
No. It leads to the mountains. The long banner flies. 12 twists and turns in the trail. Travelers and blowing snow. Ah, the power plant.
Right, I forgot. That is the way to the mountains. Good night. Did you hear that, Folinic? We've been going in circles. A catastrophe messenger thought Dad is actually leading the mob? Biederman, huh?
And back to the humming. Such a brittle little branch. Winter wisp, oh winter wisp. Very of a long life, very of a long death. Sing out your song, firm and strong. Singing through summer, and on through winter. Winter wisp, oh winter wisp. Alright, and let's move on to stage 7. Titled Sundered Land. Even rock and mud cannot avoid the maelstrom of conflict. So let's start with the before part.
Severin, I need everything you have on the Catastrophe messenger named Biederman.
Biederman? Why?
An old man told Biederman leading the riot. He's the one who destroyed the power plant.
An old man? Is he a reliable source?
He called himself the last of the winter wisps.
He is still alive? No, he might be a fraud.
A man like that wouldn't lie. It's just my intuition, but I don't think he would ever lie. This is his diary and his knife. I took them as keepsakes.
But that means he must be... I never expected this. I thought all his kind threw themselves into the lake. I'll go and see him. I don't know. Should I go see him?
He told me the whole story. According to him, the winter wisps weren't behind this. And he had no hate for you. He spoke very calmly.
I understand why, but the rioters do use the winter wisps as an excuse for their looting.
And it's just that, an excuse.
Even if it's an excuse, they committed crimes. Next they'll demand we throw open the granary and leave us to starve. Besides, the winter wisps have all mixed with the Wolumonders. At this point, no matter the excuse, we can't trust them with our lives.
We have a Catastrophe messenger who should have died. Not only did he live, but he sparked a rebellion, and nobody even knew about it. Putting it all together, it does seem likely that he was behind it.
Yes, it makes sense. If Biederman is indeed still alive, he's the one who could foment an uprising, and he knows Wolumonde is on the brink of famine.
What about a motive?
The Great Rift. After the catastrophe, people blamed him for the damage to the town. In a matter of months, we stopped at least 7 acts of violence against him. There were more we weren't aware of. After that, he shut himself inside and refused to come out. Most days he drank himself to violent outbursts. That is until Dr. Atro broke down the door of his house.
She broke it down?
Dr. Atro reached out to Biederman after he hit the rock bottom. From then on, he was usually there helping her with her work.
It sounds like they got along?
Sure, at least on the surface. That's why I never suspected him. Biederman was always melancholic. And even when he worked with Dr. Atro, we never saw him smile. The more understanding townsfolk like myself tolerated him and his work, but he had enough of an excuse to seek vengeance on us. Emotionally, he has a clear motivation. Not that that means anything. Pretty much everyone has some reason or another to try to get back at someone.
Vengeance. It's always vengeance. And before you get too comfortable with this, you did tell us Biederman was dead. You didn't positively identify the bodies, so you missed this possibility.
But you can't just assume...
Are you okay?
Just a moment. Why did it get all quiet out there?
Schultz, the townsfolk are on the move. They've gone to siege 12 Technikstraße.
What? Get out there and stop them. We don't know who might be hiding in 12 Technikstrasse. What if your reunion is holed up in there?
I tried, but they were too agitated. They wouldn't listen to reason. They learned about reunion from somewhere.
Those excitable yokels.
There is a lot of movement in the town. And also, it looks like someone found their way here. They raised a militia and started combing the town. That means they've already decided to go to war.
The townsfolk know we're here. But what? They want to burn us alive.
Burn?
Originium arts are part of their normal schooling. Even their teamsters can do simple arts. Starting a fire is easy enough for them. We can't stay here. Will Rhodes Island lead the charge?
No. I think it's just the angry people. They see us as villains drenched in sin. They are the ones who want to drive us away. That's all.
Mudrock, don't forget our people died in this town. We respect your choice, but you're young, and you don't yet understand the meaning behind this. Just so you know, we're not all that easily roused.
If we fight, an entire city will come after us.
If we run, they'll brand us as arsonists, partisans, bandits. What's the difference? The normal Sarkis way is pretty simple. Just destroy the town, level it, done. The only tricky part was the automatic arts units, but their infighting already dealt with those. Just give the order and we'll leave the moon to rest forever in the Winterrisk Mountains. Spring will never come.
Winter is long this year.
Time to make up your mind, Mudrock. Give us back our home. Out with the bandits. Out with the infected. Weapons here. Man, come and arm yourselves. Everyone with decent arts.
What's happening? Why does it feel like they're preparing for war? That's about right. It is a war. Whoa, Great Throat! Give me a little warning next time. At least that's what it is to them. They think they're fighting a war. But why? Are the other operators okay? I wouldn't say okay. It seems like Severin didn't want this to happen. Things are getting out of hand. Folinic says she found some clues. The man in this picture, one Biederman, is now one of our key suspects. Airscarp is operating on his own. Remember this man. We just need to know where he is. He's probably the one behind this insurgency. Find the bad guy. Got it. What about reunion? They set themselves up in a small abandoned hunting village. People go in and out every day, but the big one doesn't move. Oh, and while I was figuring out which way to go, I found a small group that seemed to be patrolling around the edge of the town. It couldn't be.
What's that? A rock? A giant made out of stone? Get some arts on it. But not fire. Fire is useless. Does anyone know any other Originium arts? Hurry, we have to stop it. It's no use. You're making fools of yourselves. They aren't alive. They're just a bunch of rocks cobbled together by some arts. We need an artificer to get the gramophone back. Use it on that thing. You think you can get away with this? Give it up. Open your eyes. You know why this is happening. You know what brought ruin to Wolumonde. It's all you damned Winterrisps, teaming up with infected to steal the town. What a bunch of morons. Heads full of music and garbage arts. Don't you see this is the end of Wolumonde? I know, but it would have ended quicker if we just handed it over to you. Has Severin ever told you how much food you have stored? Did he say when the town will get back on course? No, never. There's no hope. That's your fault. You destroyed my home. Wrong. It's just high and mighty nobles who pushed us to desperation.
And that's why you're killing people? Folinic, we have to stop them. Now that we know who could be behind this, we shouldn't be hurting each other like this. Let's go talk to them. We can convince them not to storm the town hall. They know, so there should be a way. Folinic, why are you stopping me? If we don't do something...
Folinic just silently shakes her head.
Folinic?
There is no room for argument or invective on the battlefield. Life passes quickly. Time is short. Truly. Neither side knows what to debate. It is unclear why they went to war, why they gave their lives in vain. Indeed, rather few hold on to any ideals after taking up arms. But now, before my very eyes, they fight one another, not only with weapons, but also with words. They cast blame along with stones. A rare sight.
Let's go.
I can tell you're still reluctant.
Reluctant? When we came here, we only planned to... No, there's no point. There hasn't been since we first set foot in Wolumonde. We lost 4 of our people in the fire. I've already stopped so many. But now the other infected must be given perspective. Otherwise we will lose control. No. The rage, the longing, will go unsated. We may even turn back to the way we were.
If you hate reunions so much, why did you join in the first place?
I thought... Never mind. It's time to fight.
It is indeed time to fight. But we will add here another special unit and its description to the thing, and it's obviously the Mudrock Colossus. This Originium construct, crafted by Mudrock, does not possess sentience and must be directly controlled by Mudrock. Though bulky and slow, they are extremely durable and boast terrifying physical damage and survivability. Oh, that they do. That they do. But we will continue with the after story.
Come, over here.
The markings here, they look like they're simply venting.
Severin thought this was some kind of calculated sabotage, but was it actually? This really does look like senseless violence. Click, did you find something? Sure did, but... Can you come here, Greythroat? I don't know how to say this. What is it? In that room. Your pupils are red again. Control yourself. Don't be afraid. Airscarp, stay outside with her. Warn the mob.
Roger.
In here. It's a mess. Someone's last desperate stand. Ugh. Are these frozen limbs? Wait, who is this?
She's a doctor? If you don't leave, we'll kill you too.
The solution I just sprayed on you is both volatile and toxic.
What did you do to us? Out with it or I'll...
How do you feel? Tell me where Biederman is and I'll give you the antidote, or you can enjoy spending the next few hours vomiting between hallucination episodes.
You're sick, I don't know. Any Biederman? I just have to kill all the No, the nobles?
Then I'm afraid you're all going to stay in jail.
Huh? A mushroom? That's a big mushroom. Why is it moving? Why is it biting?
Schultz, we have more wounded. All of them. The insurgents took over the market and Maibaumplatz, but many more people are still trapped in 12th Technikstraße. They're unstoppable.
Once the fighting started, we lost all hope of stopping anything. Now we face two possible outcomes: surrender or fight.
What should we do?
Surrender, hand over the city to Reunion and the insurgents, and go to starve to death in the snow. If we fight, both sides end up wounded or dead, and their survivors will starve to death in the snow. Or, if casualties are unavoidable, we want the fewest possible
Schultz, Uncle! Hey, Uncle, that's blood. You're coughing up blood. Sorry, just a second. It's Tatiana. My uncle, he can't speak and... Are you okay? Abnormal breathing, lung lesions, resulting in a loss of voice. This calls for... It calls for... What happened? Mr. Severin, he's actually... You should listen to the doctor and quit smoking. We don't need a test to see you have some serious persistent lung damage. Let me see here. I need to take this off. Hey, don't move. You're infected? Huh? These are oropathy symptoms. The originium is pushing out from his lungs into his throat. This dark powdery substance below your throat. That's originium crystals surfacing through your skin. Your cells have begun fusing with the originium. Is this why you don't care about your health? Did he get it from the battle just now? This isn't an early symptom or an acute liaison. He's been infected for some time. Probably from the catastrophe. No, that's too recent. It must have been even before that. Black blood clots. Suzuran, take a sample. Okay. Sorry, sir. I'll be quick. No way the hospital is functioning right now. Okay, we take him into the town hall.
Wolumonde can't be without her Schultz.
If you keep pushing yourself, she's definitely going to lose him.
You really look like a doctor right now. Looks like I can talk for a minute after coughing up blood. Handy that.
Tough guy.
I have a favor to ask.
Say your piece, but I'm taking you in. Lisa, hold him. Tatiana, help me lift. Right.
Please, everyone. Don't tell anyone I'm infected. Then I'll admit that I was the murderer who set the fire. I was the cause of all Wolumonde's problems.
And what of the real killer?
I don't care. I can't. But at least they'll have their scapegoat and no excuse to keep fighting. But it's not enough. Without external force strong enough to clamp down on them, they'll continue their cycle of revenge. So I request Rhode Island's assistance, even though we can't afford to pay for it now. But if Wolumonde survives this disaster, we will repay you.
We aren't a charity.
I'm begging you.
I don't have the authority to make promises on behalf of Rhode Island. Saving a town of 10,000 people is beyond the scope of our mission, and way beyond the authority Amia invested in me. But for Atro, we won't abandon Wolumonde.
Thank you.
Stand aside. We have a wounded. Greythroat, why are you alone? Suzuran, take the Schultz to the upstairs parlor. And don't let anyone see you. Brutal as it may be, once he settles down, Schultz Severin is going to have to stand up and lead again.
Roger that. I'll take care of it.
Tatiana? There are riots all over town. People are getting hurt or killed. I can't just sit here. I'll go organize the militia that didn't get caught up in the riot. At least I can do something. Sure, go ahead. Thank you. Can we talk? We found Biedermann. What? We need to capture him immediately and end the riots. We have to avenge Atro... No. He's dead. What? We found him on the gramophone at coordinate B2. There were visible wounds on the back of his head, and ice crystals remained on the surface of his skin, all signs indicating an arts attack. The operator on scene could not make an accurate determination, but wounds on the surrounding cadavers indicate that Biedermann had died in the riot at least a few hours prior. Biedermann is dead, but the riots continue. We all know what that means. Click and Airscarp are searching his residence, unless they run into trouble. Wait, you said he's already dead? If you really need me to repeat myself, yes, he is already dead. I watched as the smile on Folinic's face froze. Yes, that smile. The loss of Operator Atro left her emotionally unstable until we learned about Biedermann. No longer troubled with issues of colonialism, the infected or class, she simply and happily found her revenge. Does she feel some momentary relief? Relief at having realized her goal? What's next? How am I to deal with this new condition of hers?
So it is.
What?
A contingency contract operation agreement signed by one Catastrophe messenger Biedermann.
So yeah, if anybody ever wondered if contingency contracts were like a just game thing, no.
Nope, they are not. Anyway, so then, was it all part of the plan, including your own death, Biedermann?
But why? Could that contingency thingamajig be the real mastermind?
Letting people die in a catastrophe is not really their modus operandi. They wouldn't act in such a brutal manner. But if he was helping the insurgents to try to save more lives, why?
Is this really going to save lives? At the end of the day, Greythroat says Wolumonde is in a real bad spot right now.
No, the contingency contract is just a platform. It is true that a small percentage of the messengers using the contingency contract have a utilitarian obsession, leading them to save as many people as possible. Wolumonde has already suffered a catastrophe. Could he have set a fire to draw in outside forces to intervene? I'm so glad Leonhard and Rhode Island's other catastrophe messengers don't get so mixed up with them. But that can't be right. What if...
Airscarp!
What is it?
Look, over there, by the music store. What's that weird thing?
It's a... mountain? No, it's a big moving boulder.
Could it be that one guy's arts?
That isn't the kind of thing one man's arts can do. Let's hurry back to the others. There's no way an ordinary town militia is going to stand against a battle-hardened combat squad, and a Sarkas one at that.
What's that? An earthquake? It's that rock monster again. Quick, start the gramophone.
They came. Reunion is here to liberate us. Long live Reunion. Forward, drive out the rotten nobles. Long live Reunion.
cover their retreat, get back to the town center and activate the gramophone. And stay safe. Got it. Tatiana, that one at the end of the street, do you know him?
Halt. At ease. Yes, we are now just one step away.
One step away from destroying this town. But there is no hope behind us. They cheer for liberation, but all we have freed is their anger and hatred. This is a typical bloody invasion.
Is it? I don't really care. At this point, a happy ending is out of the question.
This is the last chance. A chance to give them before we take the last step.
A chance to surrender?
No. A chance to fight back. A chance to show conviction. And let us stand in for the people. Let us decide the winners and the losers for ourselves.
It's tough, thankless work being a mercenary. Always the toughest. Never appreciate it. Whatever, it's your call.
Then, arise, great boulder.
And that is where we're gonna stop for today. So, next time we're gonna finish off the story with the final stage and its story, the final cutscene, and then the 2 post cutscenes that are associated with these 2 special stages in the back. But for now, I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are. And all I can say is I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.